All right, it's that time of the ring again, Jack and Danny's. We're gonna lock this in. Now, we know this is the year. This is the day of Mike, allegedly. Now, first it was the 14th, then it was the 15th, then it was like the 17th. Now it's the 20th. I guess whatever. Anyway, so Martin Luther King was a government pawn. We already know this. He was handpicked by the government, just like D. Ray McKesson was handpicked by the government, just like Al Sharpton was handpicked by the government, just like Lewis Walcott was handpicked by the government, just like Jesse Jackson was handpicked by the government. And as we all know, when the government's through with you, they take you out or they break you down over time and nullify you politically like they did Jesse Jackson. Took out Martin Luther King. We don't know how Al's going to end up, but as long as he plays the game and knows his role and shuts his mouth, he'll probably have a nice retirement. Same with Walcott. I think he's caught on by now. As we know, he's a Scientologist. He preaches self-hate to blacks. He's a good boy. He's a good boy for the white supremacists. Now, Martin Luther King's dream speech was written for him by the government. They paid him $100,000 to give that speech. They paid him and the other big six clowns $150,000 each to hijack Sir Randolph's March on Washington, which was a direct protest against the government, and it was going to take action. Not marching, not dancing, not crying, not yelling, not counterproductive nonsense, but real action to get the rights that they wanted, because they wanted equal tax distribution and equal resource distribution. All right? Because they were tax-paying citizens. What the government did instead was, while they were already dismantling the New Deal, because they damn sure didn't want blacks to have it, and doing things to make sure that only corporations and the white supremacist elite benefit from the New Deal, from things like the FCC, as we see now with this site itself, they passed a bunch of unenforceable laws, and for a wee bit of time gave blacks a semblance of freedoms. Nothing real, but a semblance. But as we know, they immediately started to dismantle that in the 80s under Reagan, and worked hard to tarnish the image of blacks under Ronald Reagan in the 1970s, as admitted by him, using the war on drugs to attack blacks under the guise of them peddling heroin. This is a fact. Now, Martin Luther King talked a bunch of silly nonsense that was all parroted to him by the government, talking about a knapsack of benefits that we now know as reparations, which was never going to happen. People that don't like you are not going to give you any resources to benefit you when they've been hosing you down, shooting you, and killing actual beneficial black leaders like Fred Hampton and Edwin Pratt. All right? They're not going to give you resources. What they're going to do is they're going to blow smoke up your ass and gaslight you. Now, speaking of which, an individual asked me if I was white, would I have the same point of view? And I wrote a pretty lengthy, not lengthy, but I wrote a pretty long response. Now, the simple answer would be something along the lines of, I'd be white, I wouldn't have any idea how to see their point of view. Objective. But the reality is, yes, I would see it. I'd have the exact same views, but it'd be a bit nuanced. You see, how can I put this? Since I'd be a white person, I would gaslight the black. I would act like what he's saying is nonsense, even though I'm doing it right in front of his face. That way, I benefit myself at his expense. I continue to dominate him via a system of white supremacy which allows me the right to undercut him in his own society. You understand? So I'll deny him the right to fix up his schools. I'll deny him the right to grocery stores, adequate health care. I'll put out fake leaders that talk about wishy-washy, silly dreams, and then I'll prop up a small minority of people within his group, magnify that group to give them false hope, like I give my own people while I flood their neighborhoods with heroin and other opiates. I'll tell him a bunch of lies and nonsense, deny him any sort of respectable expression. I'll actually demonize any attempts by him to express himself freely, ridiculing him in the mass public. I'll use actual race baiting, which is anytime he does something, he's a representative of his entire race, past, present, and future. All for the purpose of his destruction, while I kill him, kidnap him, steal his organs, wrap him up in carpets, put him in internment camps, and flood his country with guns under Food Aid Acts. And if he calls me out on this, I'll compartmentalize my own race. I'll say, whoa, that's not us, my friend. That man is a Calvinist, while I am a Baptist. Oh, no, my friend, that man, he's a Muslim. He's not one of us. Why, my friend, that man is Hasidic. No, he certainly isn't one of us. Please, sir, that man is a neo-Nazi. He's not the same as us. But in reality, all of these groups that they claim oppose each other will meet up in certain secret societies like the Yale Divinity School, Skull and Bones, Masonic Temple, and others. Bohemian Grove, the Bilderberg meeting, the Big 15. They'll meet up at these gatherings and decide your fates, like they did in Geneva repeatedly. Now, to get deviously deep, they went to Geneva, plotted against us blacks, and then they plotted against the host country. So there you go. That's what you're dealing with, kids. And so on this day, they're marketing you this man. But look at the outcome of his family. Broken, tattered, living on the ashes of his fake legacy created by the government. A government shrouded in criminality, pedophilia, and other depraved acts. Oh yes, this same government that gave Trotsky a free apartment, money, a limousine, food, and a passport before unleashing him and Lenin onto the Russian government, crushing it and knocking the country into disarray to benefit corporations and the oligarchs of the United States, a country built on the underpinnings of ancient secret societies whose symbolism exists today under McDonald's, Exxon, Texaco, and other corporations, which I'll break down in a later video. Oh yes, I know all too well what this place is really about, Jack and Dandy's. And it's all the same people, and they've all got an agenda, and they got pets in different groups, of course, sprinkled amongst them. They always do. But at the end of the day, Jack and Dandy, when you peel back the layers, it's always one goddamn group. I ain't lying about none of this shit. You know who it is, and I know who it is. This isn't a conspiracy. I can use facts, data, paper trails. I always do, to back up every word that I say. We all know who these people are, what they're about, and what they're up to. So let's cut the crap. And as far as this guy's fake little dream goes, it's dead. Hell, it never existed because, like I said, nothing comes from dreamers but dreams. And you think because you're laying up under somebody, you got some justice? Ha! Then why are they murdering you in the streets? Huh? Bitch.